Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be going over our syllabus. Now this is referred to as syllabus highlights because we are only going to be going over key material that I'd like to address with all of you. Of course, go over the entire syllabus. There's key information throughout the entirety of it, but I'm just going to go through and skip through some information. So let's go ahead and jump onto Canvas, and then we're going to click syllabus PDF. And then this is how the syllabus should look on your end as well. If you go down, you'll see our section number, Com 1, public speaking, all that fun information. So this class is only 6 weeks long. That means that it's a very condensed workload within a very short fraction of time. So normally I teach all of this material within only a 4-month time span, and we're really condensing it down to only about a month and a half. So it is very quick, it is very fast, it is very high paced. So I hope that you are all on board for that. So moving down, if we look at course and instruction information, you'll see my name, Cecilia Gutierrez. I prefer to be referred to as Cecilia. The best means of communication with me is going to be through my email, cecilia.gutierrez@rccd.edu. If you just log into Canvas and you use the inbox there or the email through there, it'll directly send it to my email as well. So either one works if you want to go onto Outlook and type in my email, or if you want to directly message me through Canvas. Either one will work. Just know that it may take 24 to 48 hours for me to respond. And so because we do not meet through Zoom, I do have optional Zoom office hours for students who have questions. Remember, these are non-mandatory, these are completely optional. So if you would like to meet with me one-on-one or just kind of drop in and out, that's going to be every single Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. And I send out the link at 11, usually about an hour before the office hour. But remember, you do not have to come to those office hours. Just drop in if you have questions or concerns. You don't have to turn on your camera if you don't feel comfortable. I've had students also type if you don't feel comfortable talking with me, but hopefully you do. But yeah, just drop in and hopefully we'll get to know each other through there as well. So that's just an additional option if you do have any questions or concerns and do not prefer to email me. So class days and times, every single Monday like today, I'm going to be sending out a Happy Monday email that kind of just breaks down what we are going to cover for that week and any upcoming due dates. So just make sure that you're checking in on the announcements every single Monday, because it's going to break down everything that you need to know for that week, and it'll hopefully keep us a little bit more on task. If we scroll down, you'll see required materials for this course. Regular and reliable internet access and computer access is necessary for this class. Regular access to Canvas and RCC student email. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you probably already have access to Canvas and you probably already have access to your RCC student email. If you are having any difficulties with that, please let me know and we can work that out. Next, a digital audio visual recording device. This is for recording purposes for our presentations. Since we are not synchronous and we are not on Zoom, you all are going to be uploading your videos through a discussion board forum, and other students are going to be able to access your videos. So we do need to be able to record ourselves, and that's why a digital camera, a cell phone, a webcam, whatever you have access to, you will need in order to record yourself for videos and upcoming presentations. Following that, we have our required textbook by Lucas, The Art of Public Speaking. I did provide a PDF file of that for you all on our homepage. You can also purchase it through our bookstore. It's probably a lot cheaper online if you want the physical hard copy of it, but just search the ISBN number. If anything, the book should immediately appear, and it's the 2015 publishing for it. For the course description, course goals, and the student learning objectives, you all can kind of go through and read those. These are very important, but kind of just to briefly break it down, this is a public speaking class. We will be giving presentations throughout the term. I understand that it's not the same as giving presentations in a face-to-face type of classroom, but with public speaking, we do have to be very adaptive, and that's kind of what we're doing with this class as well. We are adapting, and it's definitely going to come with its own difficulties and its own obstacles. For some of you, you may be excited because, hey, I don't have to speak in front of a live audience, whereas others are a little bit more stressed about, okay, well now I need to record myself. How am I going to make myself fully visible? So there are other obstacles that we do have to overcome online as well. But overall, this class, we are a public speaking class. We are going to be, of course, learning about how to give presentations, how to organize our presentations, different research strategies. We're going to be going over various communication skills such as listening, critical thinking. I'll let you all go through and read these, but this class in itself, we do go over a surplus of topics, but if you have any questions or concerns about what this class entails, please do not hesitate to reach out. So let's go ahead and move on to page 3, college policies. Now, academic dishonesty, plagiarism, cheating. We do not tolerate plagiarism or cheating within academia. Please do not do it. Just turn in your own work. Please, 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 please. Just use your own work. Please put in your best effort. I understand that it is a 6-week course and it is very condensed, and at times you may become very stressed or overwhelmed. Talk to me, email me. Remember, every single Wednesday you can meet up with me, and if you have any questions or concerns, we can sit down and we can have a conversation about it. Moving on, we have support for students with disabilities. You probably can't visit the Disability Resource Center, so just phone them at 951-222-8060, and they can get all of the information to me via email. So try to do that as soon as possible, just so that we can get the accommodations in sooner rather than later, and so that we can have those adjustments made, okay? And so moving on, we have dropping and adding the class. Overall, it's all of your responsibility to verify your enrollment in the class. I will be dropping students who do not participate or lack in attendance, especially this first week. So I do have an assignment that's due this Wednesday. It's a syllabus quiz. It's kind of like a check-in assignment to ensure that you all are there, that you all have access to Canvas, and that you're submitting work. The last day to drop this class is February 2nd. So you all do have quite a bit of time, about a month, to kind of figure out, hey, do I want to stay in this class? Do I not want to stay in this class? But honestly, if this just seems like an overwhelming workload, or if you don't think that you're going to be able to have access to internet, or you don't think that you're going to be able to submit assignments on time, then maybe hold off until the spring term and drop sooner rather than later, just so that we can fill those available seats as well, please. Please, 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 please. And now let's go ahead and move on to our mental health statement. We have various services available to students here, and many students don't even know you all pay this essentially at the very beginning of the term when you make a payment for your classes. So it's the Student Health and Psychological Services, and it's in the Bradshaw building. I would recommend that you call 951-222-8151, and they will be able to schedule an appointment with you. I believe right now they're doing everything online, so you may be able to have conversation with a professional rather than having to go in, just because it's kind of stressful times having to go out to places. So just give them a call if you are having any stress, if you're having any struggles. Please know that these services are available to all of you. So let's go ahead and move on to the course policies now. So communication policies, email again is going to be your best bet with me. Email me, whether it be through Canvas or whether it be through Outlook. Make sure that you are using your student email to email me as well, please. Second, you're going to receive messages from me every single Monday. There may be other emails sent throughout the week, perhaps if there's an extension on an assignment, or if I continue to get various questions about an assignment, I may update everyone. So look out for those, of course, but every single Monday, just know for sure you're going to receive an email from me, Cecilia, letting you all know, hey, this is what you all have due for the week. Hey, here's some updates on grades, and so on and so forth. Now, the Happy Monday emails will give you a good idea of what you need to look for in regards to that week and upcoming week. However, we do have a tentative schedule that is attached to this syllabus at the very, very bottom. It's the 2-3 last pages of the syllabus. And also, if you log into Canvas on your right-hand side, you should have a little to-do bar on Canvas that'll let you know, hey, these are the assignments that are coming up. These are the assignments that you need to complete. So these are the 3 areas that I would recommend that you kind of review frequently to ensure that you're not missing any assignments throughout the week. So moving on, Zoom office hours, as previously mentioned, they are only once a week, but if you do have questions, concerns, we can always meet at a separate time if that time does not work for you. In addition, if you have questions about your grades or any questions about an assignment that you submitted, send me an email and let me know 3 possible times that you're available that week or the upcoming week that we can meet, and I'll let you know what time works best with my schedule as well, and we can work it out. Moving on, we have makeup work and late assignments. I do not accept any late work at all. This is an important policy to note the first week of the term, because no exceptions are going to be made to this policy. Only in very, 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 very rare circumstances will I allow for an extension on an assignment, and even with that, students will receive a 50% penalty for submitting late, and that's only with a speech or an outline. All of the smaller assignments, all of the mini assignments, all of the quizzes, I'm not going to reopen. So once it is due, and it will close out after its due date. Moving on, we have the chunk of the class. So we have course assignments, and this is how points are going to be distributed in the class. I went through and I tried to evenly distribute this throughout the 6 weeks. You'll notice that a lot of them are smaller, somewhat assignments. The major assignments, of course, are going to be the presentations as well as the outlines. The quizzes are worth 20 points and they're evenly distributed throughout the term, and it goes over course-related materials that we discuss weekly, such as chapter readings, the chapter content, as well as videos that I upload for you all as well. So this is kind of a brief breakdown of what we are going to be going over just in these 6 weeks. We do have 4 presentations throughout the term, and then following them you'll see bullet points, and those are the smaller and larger assignments that all relate back to that one speech. So for instance, for speech 1, you have 2 steps. So step 1 is going to just be to submit your speech, which is a 2 to 3 minute presentation, and then step 2 is going to give 2 peer evaluations, and we'll talk about that later on. So here's a brief breakdown of it. Here's the grading scale. At the end of the term, you're going to want to look at how many points you've earned throughout the term. So if you do end up missing any assignments, just kind of think, okay, I lost 10 points here, okay, I lost 20 points here, and start accumulating those negative points. Because if you miss over 60 points throughout the entire term, you're already at a B in the class. So that's kind of how I like to look at it in regards to the points, and that's how I encourage students to look at it. How many points can you lose to still get that A in the class? How many points can you lose to still get that B in the class? And it really depends on each student's individual goal for the course. So look back to the grading scale, especially when you feel as though you're losing out on too many points. Go back, look at how many points you've lost or how many points you've currently accumulated, and see how many points are left in the term, and that'll give you a good idea of where you currently stand in the class. So moving on, page 6, we have our graded course components, and this is a larger, in a sense, breakdown of the assignments throughout the entire term. So as I previously mentioned, you do have your syllabus quiz, and that's going to be due this Wednesday. There are going to be 2 attempts for each quiz. Each quiz is 20 minutes and it is timed. Your highest quiz attempt will be saved and put towards your overall grade. So if you happen to do poorly on your second attempt, just know that your first attempt will be saved. Moving on, we have the 4 required speeches. So you have an informative speech, you have a cultural artifact speech, you have an informative speech, and you have a persuasive speech. So the first 2 presentations are all about you. As we progress, the presentations do get a little bit more challenging. As you can see, the time becomes longer. So the first presentation is 2 to 3 minutes. The second presentation is 3 to 5 minutes. So every single presentation, the time distribution for each speech is longer, but also the requirements for each speech are heightened as well. So for the first presentation, I'm like, hey, record a video of yourself. I need to see top of your head to the tip of your toes, no editing. Just talk about yourself. Talk about yourself for 2 to 3 minutes. That's all I want you all to do really for that first presentation. So we'll go a little bit more in depth over each presentation as we progress throughout the term, and all of the information for each assignment will be located on Canvas, specifically our modules. Moving on, there are different requirements for all of our speeches and our presentations. I do recommend that you go through and you read through all of the requirements, but as I mentioned, it should be from head to toe. I should be able to see all of you so then I can provide accurate feedback about nonverbal cues, movements, and so on and so forth. There shouldn't be any type of edits or jump cuts in between the video. I need to just see one full 3 to 5 minute presentation or one full 2 to 3 minute presentation. Whatever the time frame is, I need to be able to see it from start to finish with no edits in between. Moving on, for each presentation, you will also have peer evaluations, very similar to the presentations and how the requirements change for each one. The requirements will also change for the peer evaluations. So for the first presentation, I'm like, hey, just respond to 2 peers, talk about the content, look at what they discussed, listen to what they were talking about, ask them questions, and you will be responding to 2 other students' presentations and evaluating them, and that's for every single presentation. Moving on, outlining. So for the cultural artifact speech, informative speech, and persuasive speech, there are outlines. For the cultural artifact speech, it is a very, very brief outline. It's a keyword outline. And then for the informative and persuasive speech, those are APA formatted outlines. And don't worry, I do go over APA formatting throughout the term. I also give you a template. I'll also give you student examples as well. So you're not just going to be kind of like thrown into the darkness and figure it out. I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for each of the presentations, and I'll try to provide examples as well of what I'm looking for. Everything that you need for this course should be accessible through Canvas, and I will let you know whether it be in videos or in guided readings, in anything that you find located in the module or in the announcements. I'll let you know, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, this is what you're looking for. And if you keep on top of that, I promise that you will be successful in the class. So make sure that you complete the outlines for the informative and persuasive speech, of course, for the cultural artifact speech as well. You cannot present without submitting an outline. For the informative and persuasive speech, you also cannot submit without submitting a speech confirmation. So make sure that outlines are completed, make sure that your topic selections are completed, and that we are all on the same boat. And as you'll notice as we're going over this, it's really important to submit assignments on time. And it really just goes back to time management. I'll try my best to communicate with all of you on assignments and due dates, and that's why I provide that's why those 3 items are provided, where I'll email you, let you know what you need to complete. But if you happen to miss that email, there's also the to-do list on the sidebar on Canvas. There's also our tentative schedule that's already completed for the term attached to the syllabus. So all the information's already there in regards to what needs to be done by what time. It's just the content in itself that's going to be uploaded weekly and updated weekly that we really need to make sure that we are accessing regularly. So outlining, very important. Make sure that you're completing it for the informative and persuasive speeches. It demonstrates preparedness, but it also will help in regards to practicing for your presentations and understanding and learning about the content that you plan on discussing for your presentations as well. Moving on, we have the informative and persuasive topic selections and votes. So this goes back to the informative and persuasive speeches. There's going to be a discussion board where you all submit different topics with main points that you'd like to discuss for your presentations, and then other students are going to vote on the topic that they think that you should do. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we go over audience analysis, which is next week. But for the informative and persuasive speeches, that's all it applies to. It does not apply for your first 2 presentations, so try not to worry too much about the informative and persuasive speeches just yet. And that goes again with the informative persuasive topic confirmations. It's kind of like a first come, first serve for topics. So try not to stress or concern too much about this either, but just know that you are going to be letting me know, hey Cecilia, this is the topic that I want to do, and there shouldn't be an overlap with other students in the class either. Moving on, we have quizzes. There are 5 quizzes distributed throughout the term. Each are 20 minutes, and you get 2 attempts per quiz. They are based off of our readings. They are based off of our video lectures. They're based off of the readings. So make sure that you are keeping up to date with all of the course-related materials, as the quizzes will demonstrate course competency of subject matter. There are no makeup or extensions for the quizzes, so the sooner you do them, the better. And for almost all of these assignments, you are given multiple days to complete them. It's kind of not like, hey, you need to do this assignment today. Instead, it's, hey, you have 2-3 days to complete this quiz. Hey, you have 3-4 days to complete this mini assignment. I tried to push back as many of the assignments towards the end of the week, but you'll also notice if you go over the tentative schedule that some assignments are due on Mondays and Tuesdays, but it's on the tentative schedule, and I'll also update you all a week in advance of when those other assignments are due. So I'll always try my best to communicate with all of you on assignment due dates and send out reminders as well. So complete your quizzes. Then we have mini assignments and mini activities. These are 10 mini assignments that should not really take too much of your time, but it does demonstrate competency again of the course related materials and applying it. I've had communication with students, and this tends to be their favorite part of the class, the mini assignments. They are very brief. They're not worth too many points, but they can accumulate over time if you're not completing them. So usually we'll have 1 or 2 mini assignments, and they relate back to that week's content. So you'll notice this week, for instance, you do have mini assignment number 1 and mini assignment number 2 due. Each one will probably take like 15, maybe 20 minutes to complete, and each one is worth 5 points for the week. So that's only 10 points out of 600 points throughout the term. However, again, they accumulate over time. So make sure not to miss these. They are really fun activities in my opinion. They're usually activities that I would do in a face-to-face environment, just adapted to an online learning environment. So if you like activities, if you like communicating with other students in the class, this is kind of my take on activities, but just within an online dynamic. So make sure to do these. They do accumulate very, very quickly. And finally, we have on page 9 our tentative schedule. This is a breakdown of every single week, what we're going to be going over every single week, and assignments that are due every single week. So I try to keep to this as much as I can, just because I understand that everyone has different schedules, whether it be your home life or other classes or work life. I know that you all are busy and you have other things to do. So I try to keep to this as best as I can. Everything for the entire term is outlined here. So if you have any questions or concerns after watching this video, please do not hesitate to reach out and I will get back to you as soon as possible.